I wish TikTok could hear because this sounds phenomenal. I'm so excited. I hope that the camera looks nice. I hope that I don't look crazy. Y'all, it took me almost an hour plus. I actually didn't look at the clock on purpose. Probably almost 2 hours to get this set up. And yesterday it went so well. And I shut my laptop down and now all of a sudden I'm having all these technical issues. And this is why I don't like shutting my laptop down. Even though that's ignorant, I recognize it's ignorant not to shut your laptop down because um, yeah, that's all I'll say. But welcome to the platform. Let's talk about it. I am your host, Jaslyn, here for another episode. This is, I think, my first video episode with being alone, excuse me. I think every video episode thus far that I've done, hello, people in the chat. Every video I've done thus far has been either just audio if it was me alone or it was me and my co-host on video. And we don't live together, so this is a new POV, you feel me? Hello, 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 all that are joining. But yes, so welcome to another episode here. I'm so excited. This is a monumental, y'all. I had to like decompress before I came on here, just tiny bit, because I'm trying to talk about some heavy stuff. That's the whole purpose of me even getting on here. I'm all like about to bare my heart before y'all. Whole tea. I'm having technical difficulties and the enemy is trying to keep me from, you feel me? And I literally at one point with all this stuff, I was like, Lord, I need you to intercede. Like, I need you now because I've had a long day. Hence the title of this live. What is it? The tea about law school? That's messy. It's really not tea. It's the tea about my law school experience, but it's not like a cheat code type vibe. I would argue. Hello, welcome. This is my first time also doing a live. Well, I did one yesterday, which was like a test run first live, but this is like my first live where I'm sitting down and I'm actually like, gonna go all the way through the motions. My phone is about to die though, so I don't know if the live will stay with us the whole time, unfortunately. Because again, it took me 2 hours to get this set up because I'm low key when it comes to technology. I'm a brilliant young woman, but when it comes to technology, your girl struggles. I'm trying to use kind language towards myself. Ciao. I'm trying to use yeah. So moving on. Okay, so the live, like I said, it's a lot doing live and recording, but the live I titled the tea about law school, but that's probably not gonna be the name of the actual episode. I'm debating, we'll get there. But what I wanted to do while I have you is I don't want to take up too much time because I'm a yapper. I'm a yapper, honey. Like I said, I'm here to talk about law school just a little bit. I feel like I'm in the what do they call this, crossroads when it comes to my career. I'm finishing the middle year. Law school takes 3 years. I mean, if you go full time, let me be intentional with my words. If you go to law school for 3 years, it's because you're going full time. So I chose that path. There's different routes you can do with it, but that's the path I chose. So I'm finishing my second year in May of 2025. An interesting place to be, to say the least, and like I said, when it comes to my career and it comes to just decisions and big girl things that I have to think about at this point in my life, like I realize, yo, I've been stifling my creative for quite some time now, and for various different excuses and various different reasons of why I could say the creative in me was being stifled, but the reality of it is that, but yeah, like I done got distracted. I was talking about being in the middle year of, law school and just how like it's created this epiphany to an extent of like, yo, I need to figure out what I'm about to do and where I'm about to go and what's going on, what's happening with me. And the podcast has been something that I started years before I went to law school. And I think I had so much doubt and so much stuff going on mentally, spiritually, emotionally that I was battling and dealing with when I feel like this vision and this calling was put on my, before me. The cat is gonna keep whining. I want y'all to know the cat will keep whining until I stop, like until she gets some attention. So I'm really just gonna have to apologize because again, it took me 2 hours to set this crap up. So I'm not stopping. Y'all just gonna have to deal with the cat the way I deal with the cat. Okay, y'all? Bear with me. Cause I'm bearing with Jesus. Anyway, the point I'm getting at, I'm talking in circles, but I'm just saying that I realized that I really want to be more present and appreciative of where I'm at. Oh, wait, we have someone in the chat. I was thinking about law school. I've been in the legal world for some time now, currently studying. Go off, sis. Love that for you. I think that's a sis. I'm sorry. I'm kind of blind. If you can't tell, glasses are not for fun. But no, I love that. But and that's I'm gonna talk about my 1L year and my 2L year, and I'm gonna try and again make it quick. But I wanted to preface by letting you know, like it took a lot to get here. Like even after my 1L year, for example, you mentioned you're studying. I remember, like, that's what I'm saying. I started this before I even started studying for the LSAT. I just never really applied myself to it because I had so much I was going through. Again, like I said, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. Like I was figuring myself out and healing in a very slow way. Like I took a very detoured route because I already had the principles and the foundations to ground me, but I wasn't applying them, and I just took the scenic route. And it got me to where I am now as a 2L, about to be rising 3L. Again, please just ignore the cat. And what I realized is I had a meeting with my advisor today, and he was just like pouring, speaking life into me. And one day I manifest that he will be here to share this space with me. But yeah, like he was pouring life into me and telling me like, look, bro, if you want to be a creative, be a creative. You can pursue law, which is a very cookie cutter, do what we said. This is not your playground. You don't get to do whatever you want type of profession. Straight up. It's not. Like even down to how you dress, you know what I mean? Like it's real. And especially as a POC and a woman, and don't get me started. So you're none of those things. You are a cat. This is not about you. I want y'all to know there's nothing wrong with her. Anyway, she just literally just wants some attention. But all that to say that it's not a profession that you can just do whatever you want. Like I said, being a first generation law student, I had to like go, yes, for dual masters. I'm just seeing that. I'm late. Sorry. That's amazing. I wish you all the best in all your endeavors if you're still in here. But the reality is, I had to come into my own and realize that I can do all the things. I don't have to pick and choose and cherry pick what I think is conducive for, anyone but me right now, at least, in God. That's where my security, that's where my confidence, and that's where my motivation and covering and safety. I don't know if I already said that, but that's where all that comes from. So anyway, the way I decided I was going to talk about this, because again, I'm ending my second year of law school. I just have to add that second year. I wanted to do this my first year, but that girl dog walked me. Dog walked me. I said, I don't want to talk about that. We can talk about anything else but that. And, your girl's in therapy, and, I'm, leaning on resources and trying to learn how to not be super hyper independent Black woman and, on resources. But anyway, so he, like I said, I was talking to my advisor today, and he was encouraging me like, girl, that's why you over here sad, like living your truth, be the creative you are. And I'm like, you know what, you're right. I don't know why I'm tripping. And my therapist, like I said, I'm trying to learn how to be more emotionally tapped in with myself. I've learned to become emotionally avoidant over the years as a coping mechanism, and it's done me a disservice, to say the least. And I'm realizing that I need that emotional part. Like that's where a lot of my creative comes from. Like those two things are so deeply connected for me. And for context, if you can guess, I'm a Cancer. So, oop, there it is. But the very emotional. Look, very emotional. But all that to say that I'm learning how to manage them and not feel like they overcome me and it's just this old thing that should be avoided and disregarded. And I was rolling my eyes at the cat. Sorry, you could probably hear her eating. Anyway, okay. Pets are children. Anyway, so like I said, I didn't even want to talk about this, but I was led to talk about it because of just like my meeting with my advisor today. He was just like, bro, you gotta like he was like, do you talk about yourself on your podcast? I said, no. Look, no, I don't actually at all. I try to avoid it as much as possible. Let's talk about this. Like that's me. And I do that in real life too. I'm very good at what's the I forgot. Not disorientation. I don't know. I say it all the time. Correction. I don't know. I don't know if that's the word that I'm looking for, but I'm good at that. Anyway, the way I decided I was gonna creatively go about talking about this is by using music or songs that I felt like encompassed the overarching emotion and feeling that I was in throughout law school at the different points. I'm gonna use the song as reference to what I was experiencing, how I was feeling, and anyway, the yeah, so I'm gonna do that. So for 1L, it's so crazy because I haven't heard this song in a minute, but it came on randomly while I was getting everything together for this. And the 1L year song, I wish y'all could hear. I don't have no drums on my soundboard. I gotta figure this out. Y'all, bear with me. Look, bear with me. I'm just glad I'm here. Just glad I'm here, y'all. Anyway, yeah, 1L is Here by Alicia Cara. I think that's how you say her name. I used to sing down that song when I was growing up. Can't sing, mind you, but I used to pour my heart out on that track when that came on. And it was the 2 a.m. version, mind you. If you haven't heard the 2 a.m. version and you like the original, it's great. Anyway, Here by Alicia Cara. And that's the song where I'm in your bed. Oh, hey, y'all can hear it. Oh, hey. Oh, and ask myself, something in my ear. I don't remember the words. I should have had the words pulled up. That would have been smart. But if you remember the song, and if you don't, go look it up. We ain't doing all that. I was trying to keep it cute and short, okay? But the song touches on like feelings of like feeling isolated, like just this isolated perspective. Like it's a very like POV, like storytelling story. I mean, song. And it's also this layer of like feeling indifferent and from like the attitude of the environment. Like she's like describing a party and just saying how like she's just saying like, why am I here again? Like, like very much like what? What is this? How did I get here? What's going on? This is not okay. And I'll get touch back on that. And then she also touches on like questioning like your existence. But again, she says something like, "Oh God, why am I here?" Like that's one of the lyrics. Yeah. Again, yes, also applicable to my 1L year. And what else? Lastly, I said, like, for me, it was, she talks about, I think it's like the hook, or I don't know what part of the song, but she talks about, I remember when, like, things were simple and we used to just kick back, listen to music, and talk about how we was going to take over the world and, like, how, like, we just things were I don't know how we ended up here, basically. I don't know how I ended up here when things were so simple and now I'm here and I'm confused. And that ate down when I heard it. and I was prepping, I said, I gotta write that down, bro. Like, that is literally, again, she's talking about a party and it has nothing to do with law school. But the tropes and the things that she touched on, like all the stuff I just listed, like, yo, that summarizes my 1L year very well. And those not are not the only things that I was experiencing. Like, there were good moments. I'm not saying it was all bad, but when talk about specifically law school, like the part, like that element of my life, because it takes over. It's a consuming process. It's very consuming. And ask any law student, it's consuming. It overwhelms you. It becomes its own world in a way, and that you're supposed to be a part of, and build yourself and network and like spread your roots and like take over, like hit the ground running, like do the thing. But as a first generation law student, I don't got no blueprint ahead of me. I'm coming in this like with my belief in the Lord and hope in my soul. Yeah, family. Like, that's what I'm working with coming in here. So again, touching on like feeling isolated, I don't have people in my life I can go and talk to about this. I'm solely dolly with this. So I'm kind of just like, oh my God, like, and everybody around me is like championing me and cheering me on, at least in my support system, like, yeah, like, do the thing, proud of you. And not everybody at the time, like, I was going through a breakup, like I was going through a lot, I was going through a lot, and I was in denial about the breakup, and child, holding on, because it was like I'm going through this huge transition in my life right now, and I know that I can foresee that this is relationship is really, because we were a couple years in at that point. I can see that this relationship is probably not gonna last until the end of law school, but I'm stressed and I need my support system. Like, you've been in my support system for years, and now I'm considering, like, that's falling apart, and I'm not gonna cry, but it's falling apart. And then you're like, okay, well, I just need some status quo, because law school's already rocking me right now. Like, it's already rocking my shiz naive, and I'm trying to keep it cute. Like, this is a professional environment. I'm not trying to come in here on crash out mode. I'm not. Like, I'm not. This is not the time or place. It's not the time or place. So yeah, and then going back to the feeling indifferent in this environment. I'm a black woman in a space where only 5% of attorneys are black, and what, two or I don't remember what the percent. Three are women and two are men. I don't know, something along the lines, child. And just know that it's a very much, the statistics add up when you walk in the door. I'm not saying that that I don't go to a diverse school at all, but I do know that it adds up, and I'm gonna just leave that there. But all of that to say that you already have that racial indifference to this environment. Then you have, I'm going through a heartbreak in this environment, and I don't know y'all, and I can't sit here and tell y'all that, like, that's kind of, like, I'm over here, like, you ever see like a cat like claw up something really slow and dramatic? That's how I felt trying to get through. Anyway, and then again, going back to the indifference in the environment, even in the song, she talks about like standing next to the girl by the refrigerator, talking about somebody, talking about a man she ain't got, or something like that. I don't know the lyric. Y'all know the song. Again, we're talking about Here by Alicia Cara. It's kind of a throwback to when my high school days. Anyway. But yeah, she was talking about a guy throwing up in the, hey, a guy throwing up, a girl gossiping. And when I heard the guy throwing up reference, I thought about like how there were people dropping out, bro. Like, this is law school, bro. People was dropping. You feel me? You saw them and they didn't come back, and you like, are they okay? And so there's all, again, just anxiety, just a very anxiety inducing environment to say the least. And then I'm indifferent because, like, I don't want to be a mess coming to me with gossip. I don't care. But my 1L year, I lived far away from my campus, so I had to be at the building all day. I had nowhere to go. And I was just, by the time I would get home, I'm an introvert, bro. By the time I would get home, I would be so drained. so drained, so tired. And you talking about reading a 40-page case. Baby, I ain't got it. I ain't got it. I don't know. And then I didn't like have good boundaries necessarily with people and myself even. And that leads to questioning and like, why am I here? Like, I'm over here just playing games, sitting in the back of the class, not even listening, bro. I don't know what he just said. What did he say? I know he just asked the question because it got quiet. You feel me? Like, I don't know if y'all ever been there, but yeah. Knowing that I was neglecting my podcast and knowing that like I had spent so much time like working on it and trying to put it together just for me to know like yeah I ain't gonna be able to handle that in law school. I want to focus on law school. I don't want to do the party. That's what I like to call it, the party. But anyway, I don't like the I don't like I don't want to do the party, whatever, because I want to focus on school. And yeah, and it's like, no, no, that just led to me being depressed because now I'm not creative. All I do is go to school, go home, sleep, eat, go, especially when it started getting cold. What I wasn't socializing like that. Like I was very like, no, I'm coming to focus. I want to put all my effort into it. I had no balance at all. And I quickly became depressed. I also lived alone, just me and the cat. And living alone is his own battle. And my family don't really live out here like that. Like they do, but they're not very easily accessible. You know what I mean? And now. And yeah, it just yeah. It was a doozy. It was a doozy to say the least. And like I said, I felt dog walked. I didn't even want to talk about it. Literally, I was telling my advisor today, I said, bro, I don't want to talk about that. Like, why would I want to talk about that? Why would I want to talk about that? That was such a like ugh. And then the summer going into 2L sucked. It was even worse than 1L. What? It wasn't all bad. Again, when I talk about these things, it wasn't all bad. I'm not going to get into my summer because that ain't got nothing. I mean, it has relatively something to go do with law school because I was doing amazing things. I was working with the Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights Under Law, like, and they are not endorsing me to say that or responsible for anything coming out of my mouth, okay? That was a year ago, basically, when I was employed by them. I just brought it up to say that like that's an amazing organization to be able to work with and get an opportunity to learn from and be a part of the rich history of this country, like especially when you know the history of the organization and how it even came to be in the first place, and just meeting the people who worked there and the opportunities they gave us and how they treated us. It was amazing. Like it was a great opportunity. And but I was also going through spiritually, I was done up. So like I didn't even really get a chance to enjoy it the way that I wanted to enjoy it for real. Yeah, it was unfortunate, but everything happens for a reason. And again, I turned 25, like I had a lot of realizations. So going into 2L, because I said I was gonna keep it cute, and I'm already talking longer than I want to do, but I'm gonna keep it pushing just for the sake of being keeping my word as far as finishing this out. The second song that I wanted to reference as far as like 2L. I have two songs for 2L because I feel like first semester 2L, second semester 2L, two different songs. And also, it's more fresh, so it's easier to like break them up. Okay, because 2L, mind you, fall 2024. That's when 2L began for me. And so I quickly, oh, well, I didn't even tell y'all the song. I mean, the song is. I really wish I would. I say all the time, like, I wish I would be more serious, and I really wonder the day that I will do become serious, but I don't mean it. I don't. I am here for the gigs every time, which is my problem, which again goes back to what I was saying about feeling isolated in an environment where everybody gotta stick up their butt. I'm sorry, I just gotta say it. And it's not everybody, but a lot of people. It's not everybody, but overwhelming majority of people have their stick up their butt or like have issues that cause them to just be so like robot. I must be a anyway. So the song, like I said, was Private Island on the Moon by Jayla Darden. If you ever come across my content, I am a fan. honey. I mean, real bad. And you gonna keep going, and I can't wait to keep seeing it, cause it's amazing. You be sniffing. Your pen is lethal. Anyway, Private Island on the Moon. I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory with the title, but it's a great song. It's a cute, catchy song. But yeah, it talks about basically like how like you gonna have to elevate the catcher. You know what I mean? Like Private Island on the Moon, babe. Like I'm elevating. Okay? We are not staying the same. And I actually rather be up here private in my little moon than around with y'all down there. You know what I mean? And that was a really dramatic way of saying it. But I'm just saying, for real, y'all. The the concept of touch she touched on basically she touches on in the lyrics like the agency you have over your life of like, nah, bro, boundaries. I'm gonna go over here, actually. So goodbye. And just having this recognition that you have a otherworldly existence. Like, I don't even feel like I should be here. I feel like I should be up here. And that's not to say you think you're better than people, but I just like the moon. I'm a Cancer again, throwing that out there. I love the moon. Me and the moon, we go together real bad. Like, I'm a night owl. It's late. I'm over here. I'm probably gonna go do more. Like, I have more to do after this. I'm gonna be up late and I have to be up early. Like, why am I like this? Can't explain it. Anyway, point being that yeah, that's what I was realizing in the fall. I moved closer. I made better decisions. I moved out of where I was at 1L year, so I was much closer. Like before 1L year, I was commuting 45 to an hour, bro. That means 2 hours of my day I spent driving, exhausted. Moving on, 2L year semester, I moved closer, and I was like 10 minutes away then, and that was a completely different experience. Like I used to go home and nap, bro. I was so much happier. I used to take naps. Oh, my God, it was so great. I still take naps, but we'll get there. We'll get to where I'm at now. But I also recognize like I was still really sad because like the place I was living was like not the best. And it was like I literally moved in a week before school started. Like it was a very stressful I was 10 minutes away. I was taking naps, child. Yeah, I had a great professor. I met a professor. Oh my God. And this is no. Because shout out to Professor Daniels, love her. Anyway, she really looks out. I met Cordell, which is the advisor I was just talking about, and I pray, I manifest, I do all the things that God will bring both of them onto the pod at some point. I would love that. The tea of it all is that God was showing me because I was considering leaving. I was like, I don't know, but then God was opening doors and like, cause I was like, it's one thing to have people you cool with, and it's another thing for you to have people and who see you and see your greatness and who are in positions to actually impact your future. That's a whole different thing. And I know 1 year I did not feel that. I felt like I was just barely getting through surviving, bro. And I was just like, I really don't know if I can do another year of that. Like I was so anxious to come back, like anxious coming back. Like I was not, no. And it was bad. I needed to be in therapy quite some time ago, but I was lollygagging with that. I finally got in therapy, end of last year again. It helped a lot, to say the least. It did a lot. It did a lot on the front of helping me to start to build the practices and tap into myself and prioritize myself again. And that's why the Private Island on the Moon was a perfect reference, because it was like, okay, like I gotta step off, like again, like even my when I first moved, a lot of my law school friends, they were like, well, Jazz, dang, you never around no more. And I was like, yeah, bro, I know. It's on purpose. Not because of y'all. I just have to like protect my peace. I can't keep doing stuff to appease y'all. I'm an introvert. It's very few people whose presence do not drain me. Very few. And I'm not mad about that. I just know that in order to protect my peace. And I'm not an introvert to the point where, like, again, I'm goofy. Like, you talk, a lot of people meet me and they like, really? Yeah. Just because I've learned to like be social for the sake of like survival. I mean, to a degree, like, that don't mean I want to talk to y'all and be around y'all. Y'all are, can we sit in silence? I'm a sit in silence kind of girl. Can we? That is the most, that's when I know you my homie for real. If we can just shut the up. Yeah, anyway, moving on, because I'm gonna shut up soon. I'm tired. It's late. But the last song that I feel like is as May marches around the corner and I am moving towards my third year and this semester is ending, I would say that the song that resonates with me when I think about it is Never Settle by Jayla Darden herself again. Jayla, that Jayla, man, she's just so talented. But and please go look these songs up if I'm putting you on. If you know what I'm talking about, let me know. Put it in the comments. Put it in the chat. Again, Never Settle by Jayla Darden. It's a great song. I mean, Never Settle, again, the title of the song is not subtle by any means unless you know what's happening right from the beginning. And Never Settle, it just talks about like, stepping into your power, kind of recognizing like, I'm not doing that, actually. And I don't care who's mad about it. Like, genuinely. Like, sorry, not sorry. Remembering who you are and why you do what you do and how you got there, and just, healing and have boundaries. And, for me, like, my faith comes deeply into healing and the boundaries. Because, I mean, baby, well, God, I can tell you right now, I don't know how he did it. I low key wish I did a better job documenting my life. I mean, I don't think I did a terrible job, but I know, like, child, like, I was literally looking at some old stuff, Finsta stuff I used to post, and I was disgusted by myself. I said, this is embarrassing. Embarrassing. Like, I had to journal about it immediately. Because what were you on? Genuinely asking. And it's not to judge myself. It's actually kind of hilarious, but it gave me the ick. It's kind of funny, but it's also not funny. Like, if this was somebody else, I would laugh. But because it's me, it's like, Anyway, cute. I don't know if y'all saw that clip where that lady ate that Brussels sprout, but that's how I felt. That's how I felt. And yeah, so I'm glad because I'm in a much better place. I was not, I think the weather changing helped a lot. Can't lie. The weather changing did do deals. You feel me? Thankfully. But yeah. Other than that, I mean, I'm just, like I said, I'm just grateful to be where I'm at. And God, I say the weather, but I mean, as a believer, to me, I circle everything back to God. I circle everything back to God. I mean, they don't say go smell outside air, or, they don't say those things, or go touch grass, you know, for no reason. Those things are important. Interact with nature, drink water, maybe talk to your plant, a plant. Doesn't even have to be yours. But feel the sun on your skin, just things that are meant to connect us to his presence ultimately. Ultimately, everything, you're supposed to be in constant dependence on him. And I'm learning as a hyper independent young woman. I'm learning. I'm learning. And I'm grateful. It's been humbling. Law school has humbled me a lot. I don't know if that's everybody's experience. I think some people go in, I think it humbles everybody. But I think some people go in and then come out with this like sense of superiority. And I feel like, if anything, law school has just shown me why it's so important to remain humble. It's so important because all this can fade away. This ain't nothing. I am not my profession. I'm greater than all that because of he who resides in me. And that's Jesus and the Holy Spirit. Okay? And because of that, I can recognize that it's important to again, just try to remain in constant dependence on him, which is again something as a hyper independent young woman I am working on. I'm working feeling my feelings. I literally cried right before this because the Sam Cooke song, I Wish You Love. If you have, I'm just putting y'all on the bangers. I Wish You Love came on, and it's just such a beautiful song. It's just such a beautiful song. I was like, and I was just thinking about things and, life and reflecting on what the song talks about. And I wasn't even thinking about it in the way he wrote it. I was thinking about it, and I was thinking about truly about how I would love for it to play at my wedding, but I would want it to be during the daddy daughter dance. That I would boo hoo, as you can see. As you can see, oh my God, it's just because it's about like someone you loved, your you wish them love that's not yours. Like you still love them, but you're wishing them a love of their life, knowing that it's not you. And as a daddy daughter song dance, like that's just such a beautiful sentiment. Like the words, oh my God, you just have to listen to it. Anyway, yeah, that's a good one. And if they play that during my daddy daughter dance at my wedding, I will cry. Anyway, you heard it here first. Because, yeah. Yeah, like if you just listen to the lyrics, excuse me, it's just very like, I wish you love, my love. I wish you nothing but the best of the best and the beautifulest things of this world because I wish you love and I wish you nothing more. And that is just a beautiful sentiment. And I know that's how my daddy feel about me. Love you, Pop. Anyway, but yeah, I'm wrapping this up. I did want to do a segment about, well, I'll end this video first. Hi, y'all. Thank you for being here. I'm not in the live because I'm going to do another episode while I'm here. But yeah, thank you for coming. I appreciate you being here, sharing the space with me. I can't wait to do many, 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 many more of these. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope the cat wasn't doing anything crazy behind me when I wasn't looking. But no, thank you for being here. Um, and if anything resonated with you, please feel free to interact with us on socials, the YouTube comments, all the things. And I don't know if the YouTube is super easily accessible, so I will do my due diligence to try and make that accessible. I think it's in the show notes. It's usually in the episode notes. I'm sorry, popping my knuckles in the. It's just I need help. I'm getting it. I promise. I'm getting it, y'all. But no, for real. Thank you for being here. And as I always say, stay safe, stay well, and stay you. I love you dearly. And until next time.